All right, guys, one last quick one. I meant to include this in the last video, but I ran out of time. 20 minutes goes rather fast when you just have, we just get a lot of different opportunities. This is one that's super, super important. This ES trade, and we caught this Sunday afternoon. I posted this trade Thursday. Okay, so we're just gonna go over the butterfly pattern and how you can make insane money using AMP futures. Okay. Somebody hit this in our group with 10 full lots of ES, which is $500 a point. And I'm going to show you what you can do with that. Okay. I posted this trade Thursday night. The market gapped down on Sunday and it gapped down right to entry. Right. So we're always looking for big triangles. What is a big triangle? Right. It's just geometrical shapes. We're just not, it can't close outside of X, but we want it as close as you can to possible, at least 786. If that gets confusing, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. But I'm going to show you how they caught this trade with it was a 2 point stop loss. It was actually less than a 2 point stop loss with 10 full lots, $500 a point. Okay. I'm not going to go over how much money they made, but it was an absolutely ridiculous amount. But I'm going to go over the whole trade with you, how they did it, how we go to the low time frame, and then how they made insane money. With AMP futures, you can trade crazy leverage. You can trade with a $5,000 account. You can trade over 10 lots of ES, which is $500 a point. Okay, so with 10 points, you can double your account, and you'll see how there's people in my room that can double, triple, quadruple their account in 1 week, right? And they're just resetting their account with the amount of money they have in there. But we're going to go over the whole entire trade, and you can see exactly what happens in the low time frame, and then how you can buy it once, and then you can buy it back, and then I'll show you exactly what they did and how they did it. I posted this. I had limit orders already set. I was just simply waiting for the market to open. The market opened, gap down right to my orders, just like it did today with NQ. The other trade that I showed you, same exact pattern. These patterns trade over and over and over and over again. We just wait for them, right? We just have patience. We have pattern recognition. We have procedural memory, and we know exactly where to buy and when to buy and what to buy. Okay, so we tend to trade ES, NQ, YM, oil. Gold just hasn't been trading that well this year, but it does trade really good. Nat gas works really good with these. Tesla works amazing. Kind of sticking to those right now. It works with everything. You'll find them in every single. It doesn't matter what it is. You'll find them in absolutely everything. We like to use those ones because you get the best risk to reward. But I bought this on the gap down, right? And it was a little scary, honestly, because when you're buying this at $50 a point with 4 lots, when you get this gap down, it's you start thinking that it's going to. Because I bought this on limit, right? So the market opened, it gapped straight down to my order, and I was down. I was down quite a bit within a few minutes. But again, you have to trust the stop loss, right? But it popped off this first. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. All right. So you can often scalp the first thing, and that's why I try to always tell my guys you can often scalp the order first. What do I mean by that? It will hit the actual gap down. My order was at 35.90. 35.87.50 to me with the spread is always a round up. We always round up to the closest number. And if you really dial in the 1.272, it was actually that level anyway. If you go down the low time frame, it was exactly at 35.90. And I posted this a week before. So I bought right here and I sold into this level right here. I held 1 lot, right? And I waited for the pullback. Now, this is the most interesting thing about fibs, right? I mean, about these patterns. We trade fractals of the same pattern. We look for low time frame patterns in the window, right? So it's always the window that we're searching in, right? We're always looking for patterns in the window. The number one pattern you're looking for is the pattern you're trading. A lot of people don't understand what I mean by that. We're always looking for fractals of the larger pattern. Now, again, if we're looking at a harmonic, a butterfly pattern on a 4-hour, if we're looking for a butterfly pattern on a 4-hour or a 1-hour pattern, what's a fractal of that going to be? Of course, it's going to be a butterfly, right? So what we do is we go down into low time frame in this window right here. We're in the window. We buy the first one. We sell into that. That looks like a small move, right? You buy this with 4 or 5 lots, right, of ES. That's $250 a point at 5 lots. Do the math. How much money you're up and how fast you're up. Okay. And I'm going to show you how somebody bought 10 lots and how they did it with a 2-point stop loss. Okay. So we're always looking for the same exact pattern on a low time frame. No one will share this stuff with you. You'll never see it anywhere. I don't care what anyone says, you just won't see it. And if people know it, they will not share it. Right? And even if I tell you, you won't be able to do it unless you really spend a lot of time with this. And a lot of my guys, the reason why they can do it is because when I was in StockB, I posted hundreds and hundreds of these patterns, if not thousands of them. So if you watch me do that over a year of time, it's the same thing like when somebody couldn't break the 5-minute mile or 4-minute mile, whatever it was, when Roger Bannister did. And then 2 months later, 3 people broke it. It's like once you see somebody do something so much, it's easier for you to believe. I've seen people study these patterns for several years and they can't find them. Okay. So it's just totally different. I've posted so many of them that my guys believe in them, and then they're able to find them on low time frame too. And I'm going to show you how they caught this one. We're always looking for patterns to buy against the 414 extension when we're in the window. Institutional traders like to drive this thing all the way down here, and they especially like to do this in the Singapore or the Asian session, we call it. It goes Asia into London, but we're looking for these type of patterns. Now we traded a butterfly on the high time frame. Now we're looking for a butterfly in the low time frame. We're also looking for pin bars, inside bars, and engulfing bars. Okay, but on a low time frame, this was a perfect butterfly pattern. Okay, and all we're looking for is triangles. Right? I always say triangles because we're looking for 786 triangles. We're looking for shallow drives up, and then we're looking for drives down to the 1.272 extension. And then all we're doing is measuring this. And then you're buying this. You can either buy on the gap down to 1.272. The one thing you have to realize that people, they get really confused with, you have to watch the spread. Institutional traders are going to add the spread to this. So on an Asian open session, the spread is like at least 50 cents. You have to add it to that. You might even want to round up. A lot of people will use a 3-trigger order. A lot of institutional traders will use a 3-trigger order. So they'll put one at, let's say, 73, 72, and then 71.50. And then if it fills all 3 orders, their average is going to be right at 1.272. You'll see a lot of professional traders use a 3-trigger entry. We had somebody in our room buy 10 lots of ES right here. Okay. And the best part about it I didn't even tell them about this pattern. I told them about this pattern way before in advance. They already know through my teachings to look for small time frame patterns in this window, right? They got the ridiculous fill on 10 lots. They had their stop loss against here. This drove up. They moved their stop loss to entry, and they stopped looking at the whole entire pattern. Okay, and that's the best thing that you can possibly do. Don't look at it. That's one thing that I was taught. If you look at the pattern, you're going to close it way too early. And I'm going to show you how you could turn this small pattern, right? This little 1-minute pattern. Again, we're trading a big time frame pattern. That's why we're trading the 1 and 4 hour one. It's the same exact pattern. And we're trying to hit the higher targets of this pattern using the stop loss of this one. That's called multiple time frame analysis. And that's how you get exponential risk to reward. I'm going to show you what 10 lots looks like. And this is hard to believe for most folks. They just don't get it, right? They actually bought 35.72.25 was what they bought. And we're going to put that order in. This is actually on my AMP account. You can buy this with a small account. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is. They bought 10 lots right there at 35.72.25, right? If you look at it, 35.72.25. I bought there too. I actually bought 35.72.50. I didn't post this trade. I posted again this one. But again, my guys know where to hunt for the small patterns. Some people bought this like this pin bar, you can just, once we see this pin bar, you don't even need this harmonic pattern. Once you see this in the window, everybody in my that I teach knows that they buy right here with a stop loss against the 414 extension, the bigger one. We're not using a small 414 again because a lot of people don't see that. Even my guys, not always them see it. Some of them do. They're buying this pin bar with a stop loss against the 414 extension right below it, add a tick or two. But this particular person bought. Now they bought 10 lots with a stop loss against the 414 extension, and I'm going to show you where they took profit from. It's almost unbelievable. It's kind of hard to believe. You can believe me if you want. You can ask people in my room. If anybody's in Stockby, you can ask. There's a lot of really good traders that are in my room that are also in Stockby. I am not in Stockby anymore. I love EG's stuff, the way he explains stuff. I just don't trade like him. I do study like him. Right? Now I'm going to show you how much money this person made, and very, very fast. Now, just look how fast this goes up. You're talking the first 2 seconds, you're up $1,000. The first 1 second, you're up 1,000. The first few seconds, look where you're up, right? You're talking the first minute. Now, this whole entire pattern is something we trade, right? We know all this candlesticks pattern. All my guys know this pattern. They know this trigger. They know how to buy against this one. I'm not going to go into all that stuff. It's very proprietary. We're not going to get too deep into that. You could always ask if you're interested in it, learning it, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you what this person did with this pattern. Why isn't it letting me move it? Oh, that was stuck on. Sorry. Why is it doing that? I have no idea why it's freezing. I guess it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't want me doing that while I'm live. Well, just to give you an idea, they sold most, I think, right here at the top of the pattern. This is the third take profit. They did not even watch the order. They moved their stop loss to entry and they put a take profit at the top of the pattern right here. And it was almost a $60,000 gain. And they held some more, I think sold some more up into here. Just an absolute ridiculous win to reward. So you can see, you can do this with a $5,000 account on AMP. The one issue is you have to use a very tight stop loss, because if you get, I think, more 80% of your margin, they'll close the position on you and you can blow up your whole $5,000 account. There's tons of people that trade. You can just see that was 89,500. This particular person, I'm not going to even get into what they did and how much money they made. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous how much money they made. And you can absolutely do it. We had these type of trades all the time. We had one the week before. It wasn't, the stop loss wasn't quite as small. It was like a 10-point stop loss. This was like a 2-point stop loss. But I think you guys get the idea of what is possible, right? On a $5,000 account, the type of damage you can do with harmonic patterns. This is called exponential risk to reward, right? $1,000 stop loss to get a $90,000 win. And if you don't think there's guys in my room doing this, you are out of your minds. I'm absolutely not even kidding. Okay, 100% there's people doing that in my room. No one brags in there. No one boasts. They share with me personally. There is a trade channel where you can kind of share your wins. But there's people from other countries that just, if you're on a run, if you're doing really well, they don't like to boast or brag but there is people doing it. There's people that will post all the time. I doubled my account in this trade. I doubled my account again in this trade. I tripled my account on it. There's people doing it. There's a few guys in there, put $5,000, $10,000 in there, triple their account, take the money out, start over, double their account. There's one particular guy that does it. I feel like it's almost every week. Doubling it again in 1 week. Just pretty amazing stuff. But this pattern right here, using this multiple time frame analysis with a 1 minute pattern, you can do the most damage in the stock market. And I've been in every single chat room. I've been all over everywhere. I've never seen anybody do this anywhere with a $5,000 account. I've never seen it before. I've seen people say they've done it with options trades, but to teach somebody actual harmonic patterns and to see them do this and have them actually share their profit and loss statement, and their entry and exactly where it is. You see the arrows, what they bought, where they bought. Again, same thing. I'm sitting over here. I'm teaching people, and I only bought 4 lots right here. So let's just to give you an idea what 4 lots is, which $200 a point, right? Which is, it's kind of a lot, but I'll tell you, professionals, if you're not getting up into the 50, hold that up. That would have been scary. If I had bought that on market, that would have been a really, really bad move. Actually, it wouldn't even let me. I'm sorry. Let's just show you that. This is live right now, so you have to be really careful. I'm going to show you exactly what it does. So let's show you. I bought 4 lots right here. I'm going to show you how tight my stop loss was. My stop loss was just under 69.50, I think. I sold this way too early, and I'll show you where I sold it. And I already had this mapped out in my head. I was going to sell it at 618. No matter what happened, I was selling at 618. And again, all I'm using is the higher time frame. It will reset. 1 second. I'm using the higher time frame 618. All right. So we're always measuring the larger pattern. And the take profits are always the same in our harmonic patterns. They're 382 and then 618. I don't know why. Okay. And at 618. Right? Cash the pattern out, take the money out, and start back right where you were. Worst case scenario, you blow up the $5,000 account, and that's worst case. This is where you want to be. Technically, you want to at least move your stop loss at 382. You can move your stop loss here. You really should take half off here, and then half off here, and then half off here. But I teach the option. If you get a killer entry at a very low position, low on, but I mean on like a high time frame. This is extremely low on a daily time frame. It was a washout, meaning it blew out all the stops on the gap down, and that's why it filled. And then you have that opportunity again to buy a gap down. Same thing that I just showed you on MNQ. Same exact trade, same idea, different time frame. We trade the same 4 or 5 patterns. There's really about 6 or 7. We really use the same 3 or 4 every single day, and we trade the other ones every once in a while. And we use variations of every single one and kind of do our own. And we're always using important Fibonacci extension, really important candle structures. We know all of them. We know how to trade them like professionals. That's just kind of how we trade. I just wanted to show you guys what is it possible with exponential risk to reward. And again, I've been in every single chat room that there is probably in the United States, all of the good ones, right? I've been in all the really big ones, have hundreds of people, $300 a month, $400 a month. The head guy's making more money off the actual subscriptions than he is ever in the market. I've seen it all. I've never seen anybody be able to do this, do it week in and week out, and then teach other people how to do it. And then in a few months time frame, they're able to do it on their own. Again, I have to sometimes show them where to hunt, but all my guys can see this pattern. Not all of them. There's a handful of guys that are really, really, really good. There's 30 people in there. Does everyone get it this good? No. There's 5 guys that are really, really good. There's another 4 or 5 guys that are good, and then there's 2 or 3 people that are exceptional, and then there's one person that is, I think he is a professional. That's the only way I can explain it. I'm not going to give you people's names. I always offer for people, if you're interested in seeing it and seeing all the stuff we post and trade and kind of what we do, schedule a video chat with me, and I let you jump on there. We go in there, you check everything out. You see what's happening. There's no fraud. There's no anything. It's a full money back guarantee. It's a very, very cheap price. If you don't like it, you just walk away. I've never had anybody walk away. So that's kind of where I'm at. Again, if you miss this, my guys still know exactly how to buy this if it's in the window. right? This is just screaming buy for us. We know exactly what's happening here, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and then we know where to buy from, right? And it's a bottom tick. I'm not going to get into that. It's just